love to do, but
Yeah.
they actually think of something else while they're doing it. So
I just saw a company in the mall, and they were asking for donations for their not donations. It's like a recycling of all the telephones and the old
really?
telephones. You drop off all the old telephones because it's a lot of junk. If somebody can actually make products out of that, or recover something out of those old phones and make them useful, or try to build something,
yeah,
then that's a business value.
yeah, exactly.
So let's not just stop with just being responsible and putting it in a box.
You have to
Let's
think,
create something out of it.
beyond that. Yeah.
That's
Those are really great ideas, actually. I'm surprised, I think every time I go online, I get a lot of new ideas. It's like, wow, there's so much information that, you just have to really decide what you love to do and what you think, will be beneficial to you and to other people also.
the real issue here is if we can really make more people more interested if the people can see that they can make much money in being an entrepreneur, then
I think it's the risk factor.
nowadays with jobs very scarce, and all your OFWs are coming back because of the layoffs abroad, then people are starting to look towards that direction.
Exactly.
And it's never too late. Never too late. So
whatever age you're in.
yeah, but I see a lot of people doing lots of campaigns, Go Negosyo and all that. I'm part of that movement with Joey, and these are all your efforts here, GNN. These are all going to contribute to hopefully encouraging more people to become entrepreneurs.
Definitely.
Because most of the successful countries are actually dominated by
entrepreneurs,
small, medium enterprises. Right?
And then eventually they become big. Along the way.
When they become big, they just become part of the smaller percentage, right? Because there'll be more people. The more successful ones that you could create, then more people will come in.
Exactly.
So, if people are looking for ways into which they could start a business, then they could look into outsourcing. That's one avenue. If they don't know if they're not very creative in making new products.
Yeah, because usually they're very hesitant. Like, I would know how it feels to actually start a business. Like, you become very anxious, and like that's why I wanted to ask you also, like, what should they watch out for when they're outsourcing? I'm sure people are very careful nowadays with scams and all these things. That's why they tend to just trust themselves and let's not bring it elsewhere. Maybe there are some things that we can keep in mind before we do some outsourcing also.
First, start small. Don't take too much that you cannot handle. Now, if you have discovered a niche that a lot of people seem to be wanting, then that's the time that you can grow it. Don't. If you grow it too fast, then you're gonna find yourself in need of outsourcing.
Actually,
because the fixed cost is going to be very high. So
I know some people who experience that.
There's a ratio between the fixed cost and the variable cost, and you should be able to be. The whole point is that you are the master of a process, rather than that you manufacture or that you make a particular thing. So by doing that, you convert your fixed cost to variable cost. Yeah. And even if there's dips in the economy,
of course,
then if you only sell one or two pieces today, then it doesn't hurt you because
other than aside from paying just this amount and like, oh my gosh, how am I going to recover that? It's very tough.
If one of the biggest reasons for people not going to entrepreneurship is because it's risky, then
of course it's security, the risk. Security.
Then outsource. There's less risk when most of them is variable. Right? So, but remember the principles. When you're already an outsourcing company, remember the principles of outsourcing. Do not gather too much overhead.
Exactly.
Do not put too much fixed cost. Or else you will be outsourcing yourself as well. So
eventually, like, why am I doing all these things?
So and then you're gonna get some other people doing it. So
that's something that it's actually very helpful, especially the fixed and the variable cost. I think right now, people are usually intimidated by the overhead. Like, I have to hire these people, I have to rent. have to, you know,
sometimes
do all
it's
these things.
deceiving. Let's say if you rent a car or you rent a computer, let's talk about a computer. If you rent a computer, it might cost you 1,500 pesos a month or 2,000 to rent a computer.
Wow, that's really cheap. What kind of computer is that?
Well, we're not talking about the big Macs and all that
of course
stuff.
not,
But enough to
something
run
simple,
all the Windows programs and all that stuff.
That's cheap.
That's cheap, right?
Yeah.
But they say, but you know, if I buy my own, I might be able to buy myself one at 20,000, for example. And that's only in 10 months' time I could be able to do it.
Yeah.
But in 10 months' time, your computer is going to be old and you want to replace it, right?
Exactly.
So if you, if I actually rent out computers, I just rent. 3 months from now, I could actually upscale to the newest one.
Yeah, and pay maybe 500 pesos more.
And it's actually much better. And I don't get stuck with a computer that maybe I don't want or whatever. So, and every time it gets broken, I just give it back to and get something else.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Actually, I didn't think of that.
And then it
especially for things that depreciate, like, and actually become obsolete right away, like computers, as you said.
The second advantage is that if you have limited resources, what happens is that if you outsource, then you don't most of the you don't your investment. There's not as much investment because you spread it to other people.
Yeah, so the risk is also not all on you.
Of course, right? I mean, if I'm going to outsource this, let's say, then you will be the one to get all the materials to provide it to me later on. But I don't warehouse it, you don't,
exactly.
Right? You will be the one to do that. So therefore, my return on investment, right? If I have a smaller investment, then the bigger chances that my return, the ROI ratio will actually be better. So that's the second advantage. And I think the most important advantage is that you get the flexibility to adjust to the ever-changing customer. Because the customers
fickle-minded.
Oh my gosh! And you know,
I hate dealing with customers.
And when we say customers, we actually mean ourselves, right?
Exactly.
We are constantly changing, right? We become very, very sophisticated. Too much choices, right? With so much choices, oh my gosh, it's better really if you just outsource.
Actually. And of course, sometimes you just want to give people the choice. I mean, with so many choices, sometimes like, okay, who do I pick? So at least if you have a unique factor that will make you stand out, oh, I think you're the choice, right?
Yeah.
So it will help people, you know, choose better, you know, what they actually want based on what you can do. So
I have a, if you go, I'll give the viewers some tips. If you talk to anybody in a corporation, you ask them about their whole supply chain.
Yeah.
Are there janitors outsourced? Are there blank outsourced? Are HR outsourced? If there is already one item there that is still done in-house, then you know already that there's a chance that it can be outsourced. Everything can be outsourced. So if somebody...
Everything except your core competency.
Except your core competency.
Yeah.
You don't want to give that away.
Well, or else you'll just be outsourcing.
Sometimes the core competency actually is the knowledge of the process itself. So there is no actual Li and Fung is that, no? Li and Fung is they have several big clients, and what they do is they manufacture clothes and manufacture different things, and they be able to source it from different countries, and they would know what the rates of of labor in this country is. They have become so good at it.
They know a lot also. I think that's the key. You have to know your industry. You know your stuff.
That's right. Your particular niche, right? So that if you monitor, then hey, he will do a better job than I would.
Exactly.
So I might as well make him do it, right? So, so many. If you could only
I can just imagine, you know. Actually, I think that's another hindrance for other people. Like, there's so many choices that they also couldn't choose. Like, I mean, in starting a business. So, I guess, you know, the best tip is still, you know, back to what we said, you know, something close to your heart and...
Well, if it's close to your heart, of course, when you do it, it's not like you're working.
Yeah. Right? And you enjoy it also.
That's right.
Just like what you're doing.
Me, I've become